Episode 12, Season 2, The Master Builder. So in this episode, Grapple and Hoist want to create the solar power tower. And so they go to Optimus, they say, hey, can we? He's like, no. And they do it anyway with the help of the Constructicons, and they get deceived by Megatron, and then Optimus has to go destroy the tower. Let's start. So in this particular episode, first you start off with Powerglide, who is very cocky. And he's flying around, and I'm not quite sure whether he's from New Jersey or from Boston. Can you tell me what that accent is? I'm not quite sure. So then Starscream's right behind him, and he's shooting at him, and he goes, the harder the better. You know, it's just a sexual reference. I'm not quite sure what they snuck in there, so okay. And then cut to Grapple and Hoist, and they're building this tower, and they're gonna go, you know, they're saying, hey, we're gonna show it to Optimus, and he goes, but if Optimus doesn't like it, I'll be really depressed, which kind of shows like a characteristic flaw in Grapple, which you never see. I don't think you ever see Grapple again in any of the episodes. I think he doesn't have speaking roles again. This is like his pinnacle point, and that's it. You saw him earlier, actually, in like one of the first episodes, but that's it. So that he is dependent. There's very good character analysis in a lot of these the way they write the characters is really, I think it's great. So so he says he's gonna get depressed, but Optimus is playing basketball with Spike, and he says that, you know, he goes, he drools really well. So it's like, no, it's dribble. But okay. And then Optimus tells him, how do you intend to protect him from the Decepticons? And he goes, I don't know. And then I was thinking to myself, what about the giant door that is open where all the Decepticons have been entering your base this whole time? Optimus, maybe Grapple should have brought up that argument, and then your base is completely just totally open. So I don't know about you, Optimus, but maybe you should build this tower. And then they find out that Powerglide has been hurt by Starscream, so they have this whole like Code Magenta, let's go get him. And they have, later on you'll find out Code Blue, let's go destroy the tower. But you find out that all these color-coded codes are introduced in Transformers earlier on. Later, you know, the orange, yellow, green after 9/11 kind of thing. So interesting. Has this been around before? How long has this been around? Or did the United States government take it from Transformers? So then Grapple and Grapple and Hoist help Powerglide, and then they're like, oh, you know, let's build our own tower. They're like, oh, well, how are we gonna do it? And then the Constructicons are listening, and then they basically trap them, and then they tell them, don't fight us, we'll help you build it. So then the Constructicons go back to Megatron, and then Megatron has been watching the whole thing, and he's like, you traitors! Mind you, Starscream pointed out that they were traitors before, while they were watching the video. But Starscream this is like the kettle calling the pot black. Like, you're like the biggest traitor in the entire series. So he's like, those guys are traitors. I was like, they basically, Megatron gives them energy cubes to prove to Grapple and Hoist that the Constructicons are on their side. The Constructicons are building the tower with the help of Grapple and Hoist. Mind you, there's a particular little tidbit in time where the Constructicons are having Grapple and Hoist help them, and it kind of shows how the manipulation of people in that particular episode, because he's like, oh, let's put this solar panel, I don't really know how to put it on. Oh, since you put this one on right, why don't you put on all the other ones? So there's something there about the manipulation and the Constructicons and stuff like that. And then, but also there's something there about Grapple's ego that shows, he goes, I'm gonna put my name in big letters. So it's all, and it's like, my tower. He's like, there's a lot about ego going on in here in this episode. Once again, Optimus is playing basketball again, but with other Autobots now, and he makes something about some other reference. You let me know what it is. And So then the disaster is now code blue because they find out that they're building the tower, and Optimus is going to go over there and take care of this solar power that has been built by the Constructicons and Grapple and Hoist. And Devastator shows up, and he puts a little like it's like the Christmas like they're building a Christmas tree. He puts the ornament right at the top. But then Megatron shows up, and you realize that that they were being betrayed by the Constructicons. Now, mind you, these are evil guys that are not called evil cons. They're not called bad cons. They're called Decepticons. They're called Decepticons. So I think at a certain point in time, they're going to deceive you. I don't know if the Transformers know English, but that's the root of the word. So then I don't know, a lot of you have, in a lot of the characters that combine together, you have the one leader, and it's usually the chest, but in the Constructicons you have 6. They usually have 5. I think the Seacons also have 6, I forget, but one of them is a gun. The Scrapper is their leader. That's you, because he's always front forward. You analyze it more because he's the one who's talking. And then Spike makes a reference and says that building is so tall that the top is in a different time zone than the bottom. And I'm thinking to myself, time zones differentiate from the sky and Earth? I didn't know that. What time zone is in the moon? Then there's an Optimus says that an unexpected twist that the Decepticons deceived them. Really? 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 That was not unexpected. That was like very much expected. So the Devastator shows up. They fight with the Autobots, and then they use the thing to destroy the Devastator to destroy the tower. They trick him, so he destroys the tower. And then after the Decepticons flee, Optimus goes, oh, "Let's go find our friends. They might be under all that rubble that we just created." Mind you, at no point in time did they say, let's find where our friends are before we destroy the tower. Let's destroy the tower and then find our friends, because that's how rescue missions go. So they go, and then they find their friends, and they are in a Star Wars reference, and there's many Star Wars references in these cartoons because they're like in like calcified or whatever in like a doorway, or they're like smashed into a doorway, whatever. And then Grapple and Hoist say that they are ashamed, and then Optimus says apology accepted. Mind you, they said that they were ashamed, and they didn't say I am sorry, Optimus, that I did this. They just said that they were ashamed. That they didn't mention that that's a feeling that they were feeling. They did not. I mean, and Optimus inferred that they were apologizing. But like we mentioned before, robots don't apologize. So did you love this episode? Did you hate this episode? What did you think? Did you find any other glitches that I did not see? Let me know. Alright, ciao.